So let's mark the text, and then that'll help us identify our variables. So Magic Music Company makes CDs of both rock music and rap music. It costs $1,500 to produce a rock CD and $1,200 to produce a rap CD. It takes 18 hours to produce a rock CD and 24 hours to produce a rap CD. The company can spend up to $16,800 for production next month, and there's a maximum of 240 hours of studio time. The company makes a profit of $20,000 on each rock CD and a $30,000 profit on each rap CD they produce. How many of each type of CD should they produce? So there's our question. We don't know how much we'll profit, and there is our profit amounts on each type of CD. All right, there's a lot of information there, folks. So we've identified and labeled, we've identified the variables, kind of, I guess. Let's answer the question real quick, and we'll use some blanks in there. So the question was, how many of each type of CD? Magic Music Company, when they say type, I think they do mean rock versus rap, should make blank rock CDs and blank rap CDs. This will make a max profit of, I'm not going to fit it on that line anyway, of blank. So what we really need to know is how many of each type, and then we can calculate the profit. Or the profit will tell us which one of each type we should have. So we're starting with rock and rap being our unknowns. So make rock X and rap Y, or vice versa. To practice together, let's do X for rock and Y for rap. So identify constraints. So what's holding us back from making a ton of CDs? So it's going to cost some money, and it's going to take some time. So our limitations are time and cost. So focusing on that, it costs $1,500 for every rock CD. So 1,500 times X. And it costs $1,200 for every rap CD. So plus 1,200 Y. And that has to be less than or equal to what? $16,800. And there's the time factor. It takes 18 hours to produce a rock CD. So for every rock CD, it takes us 18 hours. Plus for every rap CD, it takes us 4 hours. And we only have so much time. We only have 240 hours. Oops, I put that on the hour number. So that's our hours limitation. And then we have a profit equation. So we can profit 20 grand from each rock CD plus $30,000 for every rap CD. And that's not a limitation, that's our profit. Alrighty. So we can start graphing this. Now, we could go after the x and y intercepts. In fact, for the hours limitation, I see that our y-axis is going to be 10. Let's label this real quick. So x is going to be, x is rock and y is wrap. So number of rocks, rock CDs. One other way is the number of wrap CDs. However, so while I can get the y-intercept, I know it's 10 on my hours limitation. I'm not sure about, I don't think 18 goes into 240. So you could always, and some of you prefer to do this anyway, you can always solve for, I'm going to call it equals. I know it needs to be less than or equal to, so I'll be shading down to the left. Some of you prefer to solve for y anyway, not get the x and y intercepts. Just graphing it out of slope-intercept form is your preference, and that's okay. In fact, on this one, because I can't actually get an integer x-intercept, it's going to be easier. So I get y equals, or is less than or equal to, negative 3/4 x plus 10. Sure enough, so I know my y-intercept is 10, but now I'm going to go down 3 wrap CDs for every 4 rock CDs. Down 3, right 4, down 3, whoa, I goofed, I didn't go down 3 on that one, so I gotta move that one up too. Down 3, right 4. Right about there. So I'm going to make a straight line with that. And I know that, oofta, bad counting, Mr. P. There we are. I know that the feasible region has to be underneath that or at that. Whoa. Anything underneath it, of course I can't do negatives, so I got a little bit sloppy there with the shading. Anything there is feasible to make based on the number of hours we have in the studio. But then we're also limited by money. So let's solve that other equation for y. I'm going to write this one in blue. So we have 1500x plus 1200y is less than or equal to 16,800. So we'll subtract off 1500x. Let's put our x value first. So we get y is less than or equal to negative, if we divide that by 3, we get negative 5/4 x plus 16,800 divided by 1200 equals 14. So our y-intercept here is 14 wrap CDs, but then we have to, for every 5 wrap CDs we drop, we have to go 4 to the right. Down, down 5, right 4, boom, we get an intersection, down 5, right 4, and connect that with a straight line. Boom. So we have to stay underneath this line as well, which means that when we shade underneath it, stay underneath the blue line. Anything underneath the blue line is feasible for what this is money, I believe. But we also gotta stay feasible with time as well. So the green region is the feasible region. That's what meets both constraints. And so it's the corners that we check. So to refresh ourselves on the process here, we graphed the constraints and now we identify the profits. The equation which we already did right there. We graph the constraints and we test only the vertices of the corners. So we could max out the number of wrap CDs and just do 10 of them. We could max out the number of rock CDs and just do about 11 of them. Or we could do a combination of both. It looks like we're not quite getting to 12 on that line. So let's see, go down 5, right 4. I'm not sure we can even do 11 cleanly. We're talking about, that was time, right? So let's check the time. Can we actually, that's money. Can we actually do 11 wrap CDs, rock CDs? So 1,500 times 11. Does that put us within that cost? Yeah, it does. So we can fit 11 in there. It would cost us $16,500 to do that. So these are our 3 options. Now you could test 0, 0, but we know we make money on these things, so it'd be silly not to make any when we can make money and still be within our constraints. So then we just test our profit equation, which if you look back up, is 20,000x. This is our profit. Well, did they say profit or did they call it just gross income? So we test these 3 points. So it's kind of silly to put a 0 in there. I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to even waste my time on the calculator. I'm just going to see what 30,000 times 10 is. Which is going to be 300,000. And then I'm going to put in 8 and 4. So 20,000 times 8 plus 30,000 times 4. Ooh, not quite as much. So I know that this one's out right here. Last but not least, what if we maximize the number of rock CDs? So we do 0, 11. Oops, my bad. That's 11, 0. Mr. P's in a bit of a hurry today. Didn't quite make sense that we were maxing out there and we put 10 in there. So then I realized I switched my X and Y around here. So I know that's going to be 220,000. So we can maximize profit by doing 0 rock CDs and 10 wrap CDs, and that'll get us $300,000.